Judge Douglas Hedger and Matthew Zobrist.
Good evening.
Hi.
Judge Hedger, could you go first? Give us a brief bio about yourself.
Absolutely. My name is Douglas Hedger. I'm running for re-election at the Henderson Municipal Court, Department 2. I was elected in 2003, served for 6 years. I've been in the legal field as an attorney for nearly 20 years, 6 of those as a judge. Handled thousands of cases, over 230 trials as a municipal court judge. And I've worked hard over the 6 years to develop programs that can make a difference in the community that we can talk about a little bit tonight. I think that I've made a difference already, and I have left a mark already in the 6 years that I've been serving. The endorsements that I'm receiving, I think, reflect that, and I want to be able to continue with the work that I've done over the last 6 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Matthew Zobrist.
Yeah, my name's Matt Zobrist. I lived in Henderson for over 15 years. I'm a family man. I'm married to my college sweetheart. We have 5 kids. We're expecting our 6th in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I attended UNLV and graduated with a bachelor's in criminal justice in 1998. That's the same year I got hired with the Henderson Police Department. I've been serving with the Henderson Police Department for over 10.5 years now. I still am serving with them. In 2002, I went back to school and went to the Boyd School of Law. Graduated in 2006 with a law degree and passed the bar in 2007. As a police officer, I've dealt with all the types of crimes that come in front of the municipal court, mainly misdemeanors, probably thousands of them over my career. And the time has come to, excuse me, and I'm running for a municipal court judge. I think that experience as a police officer translates well, understanding those things, the crimes, the criminals, translates well into being a municipal court judge.
Thank you. My question is for Judge Hedger. In Pennsylvania, for years, the juvenile court system operated like a conveyor belt. Youngsters were brought before judges without lawyers, given hearings that lasted a minute or two, and then they were sent to juvenile prison for months for minor offenses. There were reports that 2 judges have been taking millions of dollars in kickbacks to send teenagers to 2 privately run youth detention centers. If these judges were in front of you, how would you deal with this type of corruption on the bench, and how would you make amends to the teenagers that were sentenced by these judges?
Very good question. I read about that just about 2 weeks ago, maybe not even 2 weeks ago. It's a tragedy, and unfortunately in politics, even in judicial on the bench, there are corrupt individuals, and that's unfortunate. I think that when we are placed in a position of trust, in an elected position, and people do trust us, and particularly judges, are looked at as a role model to society, they have to be, those individuals would have to be had an example made of them. That's not something that they should just get probation and be on their merry way. Those are cases where they obviously wouldn't come into municipal court. We'll only handle misdemeanors, and those are felonies that those individuals are dealing with and will be dealing with. But if I were in a felony court, they would go to prison. Now, how do you handle the tragedy that's happened to the juveniles? There's severe damage that's happened to them, emotional damage. Hopefully we could get them into programs and counseling to deal with the issues that they've dealt with by having to go into the juvenile detention facilities and face the negative aspects of those facilities. But that's a problem with when we send our juveniles to those types of facilities when they don't belong there. It sometimes makes them into worse individuals, so to speak, when they come out and recycle again and they're back in the system as adults.
I know being a juvenile, your records are automatically sealed once you're 18 years old, but would you put an order in to expunge it, to wipe it clean?
I think for those individuals where it's clear that the judges did not follow due process and give those individuals a fair hearing, absolutely, their records should be expunged immediately.
Thank you. Sage Boca.
Thank you. Judge Hedger, could you please explain a bit about the Legal Minds program?
Absolutely. I created the Legal Minds program soon after I was elected in 2004. That was a program where I bring, it's a preventative nature program where I bring young students, 5th graders, into the courtroom. They observe an actual court proceeding. We had a group in today, in fact. And they see individuals who have made bad choices. They see them sentenced. They see them go to jail. But these are misdemeanors, so it's not the types of crimes where it's going to traumatize them sitting through, you know, a sexual assault case or something like that. But they see the impact of making poor choices and getting involved in drugs and alcohol. And to date, we've had a little over 5,000 students come through the program. Once they sit through that court session, we then recess and we have a question and answer session. I come down off the bench. We talk about what they've seen and what they've heard. We talk about the choices that these people made. And we have a good discussion. And then we talk about the different opportunities as well that are available in the justice system. My marshal talks to them about being law enforcement. And I think it's a really good program that gives a good foundation for when those young people are going to start getting peer pressure and having to make the tough choices.
Thank you. Paul Jackson.
Mr. Silvers, what in your experience and background makes you uniquely qualified? And I understand being law enforcement, you do get a good chance to observe some people at the worst and you know, may have some good indications as to who's a one-time juvenile offender and who's a criminal on the way up. But other than those sorts of things, what in your background would make you a good judge?
Well, I am going to touch a little bit on that, but first I do want to say my background, I'm a very reasonable person, very temperamental, someone who makes rational decisions, not irrational decisions, by weighing evidence, analyzing facts. That's not just something I developed as a police officer, that's something that's always been inherent in my nature. I think those qualities, listening to people, communicating, things that I have really strong natural qualities like that, they make me fair and balanced, and yet also able to hold people accountable. And what you're talking about, I do want to touch on my law enforcement experience because that has actually helped grow those types of attributes that I have. Seeing the crimes firsthand. I mean, dealing with the criminals, putting handcuffs on them, taking their statements, and the flip side, dealing with the victims. You know, having ladies cry on your shoulder because you're taking their husband to jail, but you have to because he's abused them. Going with them to the safe house so they can escape a dangerous situation. Those sorts of things give me an insight and, like you said, a unique perspective into what types of crimes are going to be coming before me and how best to deal with those people.